What did I tell you I'd do? If I found your sheep grazing another man's land?
What if Spencer doesn't make it back in time? What if the Duttons are left to fight this war alone, outgunned, outnumbered, and surrounded by enemies closing in from all sides? Imagine a world where Banner Creighton and Donald Whitfield succeed, where the Yellowstone falls into their greedy hands, and the Dutton legacy is wiped from history. With Jacob growing weaker, Kara running out of options, and Jack charging into battle without a plan, the fight for the ranch is slipping away faster than ever. And if Spencer isn't there to turn the tide, it might already be too late. But here's the real question. Has the battle already been lost before Spencer even sets foot in Montana? The storm that's been brewing for so long is finally here, and the Duttons are standing right in the middle of it. Banner's ambition knows no limits, and after securing Donald Whitfield's full support, he is moving ahead with his grand plan to take the Yellowstone Ranch away from the Dutton family once and for all. Episode 6 will reveal just how deep his hatred runs, and this time, he is coming prepared with resources, men, and a legal strategy that could completely dismantle the Dutton Empire. Jacob Dutton knows what's coming, but the problem is that he is no longer the strong man he once was. The injuries he suffered, the weight of leading the family, and the overwhelming pressure from all sides have left him vulnerable. Kara sees it too. And for the first time, we will see her questioning whether they have any real chance of survival. The family is running out of allies, and Banner is ready to strike at their weakest moment. But here's where things get even worse. The leaks suggest that Whitfield is taking things to a whole new level, using his money and influence to turn the law against the Duttons. He's not just attacking them physically, he is hitting them where it hurts the most. Land disputes, fraudulent claims, and manipulated legal loopholes are all coming into play. If Whitfield gets his way, he won't need bullets or hired guns. He will simply own the Yellowstone by law, leaving the Duttons with nothing. And yet the Duttons are not the kind of people to surrender easily. Jacob, Kara, Jack, and the few loyal ranch hands left are preparing for war. And this time, it's going to be bloodier than ever. The stakes are higher, the enemies are stronger, and the question remains, can they hold on long enough for Spencer to return? Because if he doesn't, the Yellowstone as they know it will be gone forever. If there is one person who can turn the tide of this war, it's Spencer Dutton. But the real question is, will he make it back in time? From the very beginning, Spencer's journey has been filled with danger, tragedy, and near-death experiences, and Episode 6 will be no different. The latest leaks suggest that his path back to Montana is anything but smooth, and every step forward comes with an even bigger obstacle. Spencer has already survived the perils of Africa, brutal storms at sea, and deadly confrontations with men who wanted him dead, but now he's facing an entirely new threat, one that he never saw coming. The moment Banner got his hands on Spencer's telegraph in Episode 5, everything changed. Now Spencer isn't just making his way home, he's being hunted. Whitfield and Banner know that Spencer is the Duttons' last hope, and if they can eliminate him before he reaches Montana, the war will be over before it even begins. This means Spencer is walking straight into a trap. The leaks indicate that hired guns are already on his trail, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Whether it's in a crowded train station, a dark alley, or even on a ship back to the U.S. Spencer's enemies are closing in fast, and let's not forget, he is not alone. Alexandra, who has already suffered so much, is right there with him, and her presence makes him even more vulnerable. We have seen what happens when innocent people get caught in this violent world, and Alexandra might be running out of luck. But here's what makes things even more complicated. Spencer has no idea what's waiting for him in Montana. He doesn't know how dire the situation has become. He doesn't know that Banner and Whitfield are already moving in to take the Yellowstone. And he definitely doesn't know that his own family might not survive long enough for him to return. Time is running out, and every delay could mean the difference between saving his family and arriving to find nothing but ashes. Will he find a way to outsmart his enemies and make it back in time? Or will Banner's men get to him first? Episode 6 promises to deliver the most intense, action-packed chapter of Spencer's journey yet, and one wrong move could mean the end of the Dutton legacy forever. If you thought Banner had already done his worst, think again, because Episode 6 is where his true cruelty is unleashed. The leaks confirm that Banner is no longer just following Whitfield's orders. He's taking matters into his own hands. And this time his plan is far more sinister than anything we've seen before. From the moment Banner discovered Spencer's telegraph, he knew that time was running out. If Spencer returns, everything changes. The Duttons will have their warrior back, and Banner's chance at victory will be gone. That's why his new mission is simple: wipe out the Duttons before Spencer ever sets foot in Montana. And how does he plan to do that? By bringing the war directly to the Yellowstone in a way that no one sees coming. The latest leaks suggest that Banner is setting a trap so brutal, so vicious, that it could finally be the breaking point for Jacob and Cara Dutton. We already saw how far he was willing to go when he led that brutal ambush in Season 1. That attack nearly killed Jacob, left John Dutton dead, and sent the entire family into chaos. But this time, Banner isn't just attacking out of revenge. This time, he is hunting them down with cold, calculated precision. Because he knows that if he succeeds, there will be no one left to fight back. His first move? Divide and conquer. He knows that Jacob and his men are still weak from the last attack. They've barely recovered, their numbers are thin, and their resources are stretched to the limit. Banner will use this to his advantage, sending his men to strike when the Duttons are at their most vulnerable. According to leaks, this means multiple coordinated attacks on the ranch, on the livestock, and possibly even on the people closest to the Duttons. No one is safe, and Banner wants to make sure that by the time Spencer arrives, there is nothing left to save. But the most terrifying part of his plan, it's not just about taking land, it's about sending a message. Whitfield doesn't just want to steal the Yellowstone, he wants to make sure the Dutton name is erased from history. And Banner? He's more than happy to do the dirty work. The leaks suggest that Episode 6 will feature one of the most horrifying acts of violence, yet something that could shake even the most loyal Yellowstone fans to their core. Could it be another ambush, a direct attack on the ranch, or something even worse, like taking Cara Dutton hostage to force Jacob into surrendering? Whatever it is, it won't just be another fight. It will be a massacre, and the Duttons may not have the strength left to survive it. But here's the thing. Jacob Dutton is no fool. He knows that Banner isn't finished, and he knows that this war is only just beginning. That's why in Episode 6 we will finally see Jacob make a move that no one expects. He's done playing defense. He's done waiting for Banner to come after him. This time, Jacob is taking the fight straight to Banner's doorstep. With the last of his strength and the few men he has left, Jacob is preparing for an all-or-nothing battle. He knows that if he loses this one, the Duttons are finished. But if he wins, if he can hold out just long enough for Spencer to return, then maybe, just maybe, the Duttons still have a chance. The stage is set. The war is about to explode. And in Episode 6, we will finally see whether the Duttons have the strength to stand, or if Banner will be the one who finally destroys them. As Episode 6 unfolds, the fate of the Dutton family hangs by a thread. Banner Creighton and Donald Whitfield have tightened their grip around the Yellowstone, and with every passing moment, the Duttons' chances of survival shrink. Banner's new plan is unfolding in the most devastating way possible, and now it's no longer just about land. It's about annihilation. Jacob Dutton, battered and bruised from the last attack, knows that if they don't make a stand now, there won't be a Yellowstone ranch left for Spencer to return to. But the question is, do they even have enough fight left to win? Banner has launched a series of attacks, and the leaks suggest that in Episode 6, we will see his most brutal move yet. He's not just targeting the land, he's coming for the family itself. In past episodes, we've seen him act with reckless violence, but now he's planning something more methodical. His goal is to break Jacob mentally to make him surrender before Spencer can arrive. But Jacob Dutton is not a man who bows to his enemies, and as Banner's forces close in, Jacob prepares for one final, desperate stand. With the Yellowstone under siege, Cara Dutton is forced into a position she never imagined, leading the family in its darkest hour. We've seen Cara's resilience throughout the series, but in Episode 6, we will see a new side of her. She's not just the matriarch holding the family together, she's ready to fight. According to leaks, Cara may be forced into an impossible decision, one that could change everything for the Duttons. Does she stand her ground and risk everything, or does she make a sacrifice that could buy them enough time for Spencer to return? Meanwhile, Jack Dutton, still fueled by rage after losing his father, is ready to take matters into his own hands. He's been growing into a warrior, but in Episode 6, he will be truly tested. The leaks hint that Jack will be caught in a situation where his life is on the line, and he will have to make a choice. Fight and possibly die, or retreat and live to fight another day. But knowing Jack, he won't back down, even if it means going up against impossible odds. Then there's Whitfield. While Banner is carrying out the dirty work, Whitfield is working in the shadows, manipulating the law, and turning the system against the Duttons. The latest leaks suggest that he has something even more sinister planned, something that could destroy the Duttons in a way that bullets and bloodshed never could. If Whitfield succeeds, he won't just take the ranch. He will make sure that the Dutton name is erased from Montana history forever. But what about Spencer? The million-dollar question remains. Will he make it back in time? We've seen his journey filled with danger, and episode 6 will give us more clues about whether he's getting closer or if another obstacle will delay him once again. If Banner and Whitfield's plan succeeds, Spencer could return to nothing but ashes. But if he arrives just in time, we may finally see the moment fans have been waiting for. The return of the Dutton warrior ready to unleash his vengeance. The tension is at its breaking point. The Duttons are outnumbered, outgunned, and running out of time. As episode 6 reaches its climax, we will finally see the full force of the war explode. The only question is, who will be left standing when the dust settles? The war for the Yellowstone has reached its boiling point. With the Dutton family backed into a corner, Banner Creighton and Donald Whitfield are closing in for the final blow. Everything they have planned has led to this moment. Their endgame to seize the land, wipe out the Dutton legacy, and claim total control over Montana. But what they don't know is that the storm they've unleashed is about to hit back even harder. And at the center of it all, Spencer Dutton. The warrior who was forced to leave his family behind is finally making his way home, and when he arrives, hell is coming with him. Episode 6 will be the moment where fate delivers its cruelest test to the Duttons. Jacob and Kara have fought tooth and nail to keep the ranch, but they are running out of strength. Jacob, wounded and aging, knows that the war is no longer his to fight alone. He has stood against the tide for as long as he could. But as Banner's final strike looms, even he must wonder if this is the end of the Yellowstone. The weight of history presses down on his shoulders. If the Duttons fall now, their legacy dies with them. But Jacob isn't a man who gives up, and neither is Kara. Together, they prepare for one last stand, knowing that they may not live to see the sun rise again. Jack Dutton, fueled by vengeance and desperation, takes it upon himself to lead the charge. He knows that they can't wait for Spencer anymore. If they don't fight back now, there won't be anything left to save. But the leaks suggest that Jack is walking straight into a trap. Banner and his men have anticipated this move, and they are ready to cut down the last of the Dutton warriors. Jack's recklessness has served him in the past, but this time, it may cost him everything. Will he survive? Or will this be the moment where the Dutton name suffers its most devastating loss yet? Meanwhile, Kara is forced into a decision that no Dutton has ever had to make before. The ranch is more than just land. It's their blood, their identity, their history. But as the situation grows more desperate, Kara may have to choose between saving the family or saving the land. The leaks hint that Kara may be forced to negotiate with Whitfield in a shocking turn of events. Could she betray everything the Duttons have fought for in order to keep them alive? Or will she prove once and for all that the Duttons will never bow to anyone? And then, just when all hope seems lost, the moment that fans have been waiting for finally arrives. Spencer Dutton, the lost son, the warrior, the last hope for the family, returns to Montana. After fighting his way across continents, battling the forces of fate itself, Spencer finally steps onto the land that he swore to protect. But he isn't coming back as the same man who left. This isn't just a homecoming, it's a reckoning. The leaks suggest that Spencer's return will be nothing short of explosive. The war has already begun, but when he arrives, the real battle starts. Whitfield and Banner have underestimated him, thinking that they had already won before he could make it back. But they've made a fatal mistake. Spencer has spent years hunting dangerous men, surviving in the wild, and learning how to kill. And now, he's about to bring that fury down upon the enemies of the Yellowstone. As episode 6 reaches its final moments, the bloodshed will reach new heights. Spencer and Jack will stand side by side for the first time in years, two Dutton men ready to fight for everything they've lost. Jacob, battered but unbroken, will watch as the new generation takes up the mantle. And Kara, the heart of the family, will bear witness to the most defining moment in Dutton history. The battle for the Yellowstone will rage on, and by the time the dust settles, nothing will ever be the same again. The question is, who will survive? Will Spencer be the savior the Duttons need, or will he arrive too late? Will Banner and Whitfield finally get what they want, or will their greed be their downfall? And most importantly, will the Dutton legacy live on, Or will this be the moment where it all comes to an end? One thing is certain. 1923 Season 2, Episode 6 is about to change everything. Here's the final outro for your script, packed with tension, speculation, and the signature thrilling tone your audience loves. The war for the Yellowstone has reached a turning point, but the battle is far from over. As 1923 Season 2 hurtles toward its climax, the stakes have never been higher. With Spencer's long-awaited return shaking the very foundation of the conflict, the Duttons finally have their strongest warrior back in the fight. But the question remains, will his arrival be enough to save the ranch, or has Banner Creighton and Donald Whitfield's evil plan already sealed the fate of the Yellowstone? Episode 6 has left us on the edge of our seats, but the road ahead is even more dangerous. Spencer's return is not just a moment of triumph, it's a declaration of war. He has seen the horrors of battle, and now he is ready to bring that brutality home to those who have threatened his family. But the moment he steps back onto Duttonland, he will find a world far different from the one he left behind. The family he swore to protect has been pushed to its limits. Jacob and Kara are barely holding on. Jack, once full of youthful fire, has been hardened by bloodshed and loss. The Yellowstone is no longer just a ranch. It's a battlefield soaked in the cost of survival. And while Spencer's presence is a game changer, the Duttons are still far from victory. Whitfield and Banner are not men who surrender easily. They have come too far and sacrificed too much to back down now. With every passing episode, they have tightened their grip, manipulating the law, using brute force, and breaking every rule to take what they want. Even with Spencer back, they are prepared for war. And with the kind of money and power they wield, they still hold the upper hand. One of the biggest questions looming over Episode 7 and beyond is this: who else will the Duttons lose before this war is over? No battle is fought without sacrifice, and it's becoming clearer than ever that not every Dutton will make it out alive. Jacob has been living on borrowed time since the first attack in Season 1. Jack's reckless pursuit of vengeance has already put him in the crosshairs. And what about Kara? The woman who has held the family together may soon be forced to make an impossible choice, one that could decide the fate of the Yellowstone itself. Then there's Alexandra. Spencer's love, his reason for surviving, has been through just as much as he has. She defied her family, fought to stay by his side, and endured the impossible to reunite with him. But the harsh reality is that she is now walking straight into the deadliest conflict the Duttons have ever faced. Is she prepared for the bloodshed to come? Can she truly stand beside Spencer as he wages war against enemies who will stop at nothing? Or will she become yet another victim of this brutal fight for survival? The leaks suggest that Episode 7 will push the story to its breaking point. Spencer will waste no time making his presence known, and when he does, Montana will never be the same. His revenge against Banner won't be just about reclaiming the ranch. It will be personal. This isn't just about the land anymore. It's about the blood that has been spilled, the loved ones lost, and the debt that must be paid in full. But Spencer is walking into a war that has already been raging in his absence. Will he be able to turn the tide, or has the damage already been done? And let's not forget the growing influence of the government and the outside world. While the Duttons fight their enemies on the ground, forces beyond their control are moving behind the scenes. The expansion of America's wealthiest families, the growing reach of industry, and the looming presence of law enforcement all point to an even bigger threat beyond Banner and Whitfield. Even if the Duttons survive this war, will they be able to hold on to their way of life, or is this just the beginning of an even greater struggle? With only a few episodes left, 1923 Season 2 is setting up a grand finale that will shake the Yellowstone universe forever. And the biggest question of all remains unanswered: who will live and who will die? Now, it's your turn. What do you think will happen next? Will Spencer be the savior the Duttons desperately need, or will he find himself too late? Can Jack survive the war he's rushing headfirst into? And is this truly the moment where the Dutton legacy comes crashing down? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because the battle for the Yellowstone is just getting started. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an update on 1923 and the entire Yellowstone universe. Stay tuned, because the next episode might just change everything.